Hey, what's up? This is Dahlia, and you are rocking with hiphopsince1987.com.
Hiphopsince1987.com.
What's going on? It's your boy E Money with the lovely Dahlia. How you doing?
I'm good. Happy to be here with you.
Indeed, it's been a while since we've seen each other. How's everything been?
Everything's been amazing, and I'm super excited about everything that's going on right now.
Okay. Now, last time I saw you, you had one of the biggest singles out, the Gangsta record. After that, you dropped a few records. And then it seemed like you took a little hiatus. What's going on? What's been going on with Dahlia?
So I took a little bit of a hiatus, not by choice, I would say. I actually got diagnosed with a pseudocyst in my vocal cord, so I had to take a break, which was rough for me, right? Because, you know, I come out with, you know, these records and whatever, things are coming along, and as a new artist, it's always hard. You gotta, you know, you gotta work and work and work.
Stay consistent, yeah.
And so for me to have to like take that back seat, you know, it killed me. I'm not gonna lie, and I know that a lot of the fans were just like, "What the hell?" But you know what? Ultimately, it was so good. It was so good for me, and right now, like the timing is perfect. Like the tour is on. I'm here touring right now. We have the album dropping in January, My Garden.
Yes.
And which is available for pre-order now. I don't know if you pre-ordered it yet, Eric, but it's out now, just so you know.
Today.
And no, you know what? Timing is so perfect. Like I needed to go through all that to get to where I am right now, and to be here in Philly talking to you right now.
Okay. Now you spoke on My Garden, because I was gonna say the last video I saw you drop was the Crazy record, which is a great video and a great record. And I was gonna ask you about the album. So tell us a little bit about it. Like, tell us about the feel. Is it pop? Is it? Well, we know it's heavy emotion because I know you get deep with it. So tell us about the album, who you working with, producers, what's going on.
The album is definitely has a little bit of everything. It's emotional. It has this more fun, kind of just like youth culture, just like vibe, ratchet moments, and then it has its more deep moments. And that's why I wanted even to name the album My Garden, because I felt like it was a plethora of different sounds. It has a little bit of hip hop, it has a little bit of like, you know, R&B, some reggae, some pop feel to it. And I think that's where music is going today. For the youth, we kind of just fuse things together, and like I'm not into an album that sounds like the same song over and over again. You know what I mean? I like different sounds, and I love to do different types of music. And I know sometimes people are like, oh, you need to stick to one sound and you need to stick to one thing so that people know who you are, and I just don't really care. So for me, I'm like, look, this is the music that I like to make, and if people ride with it, then dope. And if they don't, because they want to hear me in one sound, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm excited. Crazy came about because, you know, I heard it. It's the one song on the record that I actually didn't write. And that was why I was first hesitant to even do it, because obviously I'm like very involved in all the writing. And so I heard it, but it was during a time that I was kind of feeling crazy for somebody. And I was like, you know what, okay, I'll record it, because all my girls were like, record it, let's see what happens. So I recorded it, and I kind of like fell in love with the record, and I just fell in love with the story, and I knew that so many people would relate to it. So I was happy to do it, and then it just became this thing. It became this thing that people just loved and gravitated to, and thankfully, you know, people are really feeling it and getting with the record. Yeah.
Okay, now I also heard that you have a song, or maybe a few songs in all Spanish. Now, how important is it for you to represent for your culture? I know you're a Boricua, correct?
No, Guana.
Okay, apologize. So, how important is it for you to represent for your culture musically?
I think it's important just because my culture is a part of who I am. And it's just embedded in me, and it's not something that I can really shy away from or get away from. You know what I mean? It's just there. And to do a song in all Spanish on the record was important just because it's kind of like the ultimate shout out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like imagine if somebody like, I don't know, some artist, whomever is from Philly, just wrote a song about Philly.
Screamed out my hood.
Just screamed out, yes. And the whole record was just about Philly and put that on their album. You know what I mean? It's like the ultimate shout out. It's just giving love, really.
I know what you mean, man. Meek got that I'm a Boss record, and we say I run my city from South Philly back to, and he always stop it right there and let the crowd scream, Uptown. I'm from Uptown, so I love that.
Okay,
that's like my
okay.
moment. All right, so that's dope. That's
you see
dope.
what I said?
Oh, I know what
Is
you
he
said.
still locked up?
Yeah, free Meek.
Free Meek.
Indeed.
He
indeed.
is.
Hopefully
That's
be home
crazy.
soon. Yeah.
He's amazing, yo. He's
Indeed,
another one.
indeed. Now, what's going to be the next single to drop? Have you picked another single, or?
We haven't picked another single just because Crazy is kind of doing its thing right now.
Still wrong. Okay.
And so it's kind of like, let's just let it be. Let's just let it grow and do what it has to do and do the tour and just focus on that, and then just focus on the album coming out. And then we'll talk about another single dropping, you know? I have some ideas, but I don't know for sure yet, so I don't want to say anything.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about the production. I know a lot of what you do is live, you know, so who are some of the producers, musicians that you work with on the project?
We obviously have Jay Denz, who did Gangsta. He did a couple other records on the album. Salam Remy did, shout out to Salam, who did Clocks, obviously, that's already out, and did another record on the album called Lava, which I'm super excited about, that I'm going to be performing tonight, actually. And whom else do we have on the record? The Spanish record that I did, we just finished the mix. We just finished the vinyl version with a dude out in LA called Red Wine. Whom else? I don't know.
Hulka Brothers.
I'm sorry? Hulka Brothers. There's a record on the album called Just Another Dude that I'm also going to be performing. And that was an interesting one because that one, we did it and it was so like organic in the moment. We just came in and they were just playing this guitar riff, and I just went in the booth and I just blacked out. I was like, I just don't even want to talk to anybody. I don't want to write with anybody. I'm like, let me just get in the booth and just speak it out. And so we did this record. We finished it up, and then the whole production, after production, we're trying all these things. They're putting in all this extra stuff, and for whatever reason, like, it just didn't hit the same way that it did just that one time. So we literally, after like a couple months, literally going back and forth, we're going back and forth with this, right? They're adding production, they're taking away, they're adding, they're taking away, and we're like, you know what, let's just put it exactly how it was. Like, we literally kept the demo. We kept the demo, and we're putting the demo on the album. So we just mixed the demo exactly as it was that night. And yeah, I think that's like one of the more special ones to me, at least, because it's so personal. It was so in the moment, and when you hear the record, it was like what you hear is practically what happened that night.
That's dope. Now, what do you need in the studio? A lot of times we get to talk with rappers. They need the loud, the drinks, some friends. What do you need? Do you need loud drinks and friends?
Yeah. There was a time where, yeah, it was always good energy to have like a bunch of friends in the studio and to just vibe out on a lot of writers and just a lot of fun times and drinks and food and people. And that was that era. That was that era. Now it's a little different. I mean, I've been out of the studio for a minute, but you know what? I like the idea of just going back to what I used to do, which was just like really just be in my head and just like really work on a record for a couple days and then just like listen to it again and then tweak it and listen to it again and tweak it. And that's how some of my favorite records came to be, and some of the fans' favorite records came to be. Little do they know, obviously, that it took me like a couple days, you know what I mean? And so yeah, right now, obviously, after everything that I've been through, like, you know, I'm like, I don't even party, I don't do anything. So to go into the studio and do all that, it's like, ooh, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I can't.
All right, now like you said, we're here in Philly, World Cafe Live. You're on tour, the My Garden tour. What's it like to be headlining your own tour?
It's exciting. It's a challenge, but it's exciting.
I'm sure, yeah.
It's a challenge, but it's exciting. And it's my first tour, so everything is new. And obviously I'm on the tour bus with like 5 dudes, so it's like, I'm like the little princess. But at the same time, I'm like the cleaning lady, and no, but it's fun, you know, because it's such good vibes on the bus. Everybody's so easygoing, and it's just been, honestly, like, I'm so grateful to have such amazing musicians, you know, to tour with. It's exciting, and it's good to know that like everybody in the crowd, whether it's like an intimate little crowd or it's like a bigger crowd, a bigger venue, it's just all my fans there, and the energy is always just so amazing. Because up to now, I've just been doing so much promo stuff and so many radio shows. You go there and you don't really know who the fans are there to see. You can win them over, and that's what's great too. You grow your fan base, but it's nothing like just being in a room and everybody is there to just listen to the music and listen to your music and see you.
Okay, now like I said, your music is full of emotion. That time I got to see you perform, man, I had chills, man. Like, it was so much energy. So it's a lot of show dates left. Make sure you come out. My Garden tour, check her out. City near you.
Absolutely.
Now I know you spoke on the best part of touring is actually touring and traveling.
Yeah.
What's the coolest place you've been to so far? Besides Miami, you can't name hometown.
Yeah, I can't name. I wasn't even thinking about Miami. You know, one of the coolest places that I've been to, the most interesting, might have to be Amsterdam, and not because of why you think. Even though that's cool too, but you know what, just Europe in general, the people there and the energy there is just so, it's just so different. So it was just so far from where I was from that everything felt new. And I love that. I love feeling like I'm really, really far away. It's so cool, yeah.
All right, now, tell us a difference between a Europe fan and a States fan. I remember I said with Raekwon, he was like, man, over there they just appreciate hip hop in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Is there a difference to you?
Absolutely. I think it's not even just hip hop. I think it's just music in general. I think, you know what it is, like growing up in the States, like we've just been exposed to so much. Like we just oversaturated with just so much music and the internet and everything in the past, like what, 10, 15 years. It's like, we grew up on a television. We grew up on just entertainment, and media, and just like getting soaked into advertisement. That when you watch a show, it's almost like the people, and it's not that it's like their fault or our fault. I'm part of it too. Obviously, I grew up here, but we're kind of numb, right? Desensitized to creativity. And it's very hard, especially when you go to like the main cities. It's very hard to engage people because they're so just like, okay, whatever, entertain me. Like I could be home watching TV and watching, you know, Lost, and it could be entertaining me better than this. Like, what do you have to say? And it's hard. It's really hard. So in Europe, for whatever reason, people just still had this connection and this appreciation for creativity in general, and art and music, and there's still that passion, and there's no sense of like, I think there's less pride too. You know what I mean? I think it's just the people in general. Like here we have pride, and we're all about being cool, and oh, we're American, and we're cool, and right, and there it's a little more like they don't give a shit. They'll go crazy and they'll act insane because they, you know, they have that passion and that drive for what they're seeing.
Okay.
I know it gets really deep.
No, it does. It does.
It gets really deep. But
hey, but that's what artists need to hear, because you got some artists who just, you know, keep their music local, and it's like, hey man, you could try it overseas. You can try it in different places. You could break through in a whole nother way. So artists need to hear that.
Absolutely. And there's so many times that I've heard like, oh, you know, you're probably gonna break in the UK first, or you're probably gonna break over here first. Like the States is gonna be last. The States is gonna be last. Now, I remember the first time hearing that, I'm like, oh wow, like you kind of, being from here, we tend to forget that there is a whole nother world, because we just think this is the world, you know. And unfortunately, this is what we're exposed to. We never really know too much about other countries. We don't. We only know about us and anything that has to do with us. Whereas everywhere else in the world knows about so much more, and knows about us, and knows that we're kind of self-centered.
Very true, man.
In that. But it's not our fault.
Hey, not at all. Like you said, man, we've been programmed, all of us.
Exactly. We're in the system. We're in the matrix.
There you go. Now, speaking of that, you were programmed to write a song when you were 8. The first song.
Okay.
Because music touched you.
Right.
Who were some of your musical influence that helped program you into being the artist that you are today?
Not when I was 8, right? Because when I was 8, when I was 8, I'm not gonna lie, I was listening to like mad pop music, and I was definitely like the programmed little girl, like listening to Britney Spears.
I was just about to say, you was Britney though?
I was Britney out as Christina.
Britney was dope though, don't get it twisted.
Christina was my girl though, I'm not gonna lie. I was more of a Christina fan, just like those riffs just had me going. And NSYNC, and I was a sucker. I was a sucker, I was a total sucker. But, you know, when I got older, my brother was the one that introduced me to like classic rock, and he got me into like the Doors and Led Zeppelin and Radiohead and the Sex Pistols, and he got me into ska music and Sublime. And then from there I started kind of like discovering my own things. I started really getting into jazz and blues and, you know, Miles Davis, and then listening to pop jazz like Frank Sinatra, and then listening to Elvis. And for me, like, voices are everything, you know what I mean? Like, if it's a good voice, I will listen to it all day. So it was like B.B. King on repeat, and forget it, like he was just ill on the guitar. So I kind of just started exploring all these different genres. And then of course, you know, you grow up in Miami, it's just mad reggae and mad hip hop in the clubs, and it's Juvenile, and it's Hot Boys, and it's, you know, whatever else was on at the time. And I think unconsciously all those things are just kind of like in me, you know what I mean? And so when I create music, it just comes out, you know, and there's a little influence of everything.
Now, when you speak of the Miami scene, I know we usually hear about a lot of, you know, the Miami scene from an artist, from a rapper perspective. But give us the Miami music scene from your perspective.
You know what? That's initially the reason why I left Miami in the first place and went to New York, was because the music scene in Miami, even as a rapper, it's hard. It's kind of, it wasn't, especially at the time, it wasn't a good platform. But now with Art Basel happening and like all that hype, when, you know, our boy was in the Heat, our boy from Cleveland who decided to go back, I'm not gonna mention any names, but it's fine, we're okay with that, we're happy, you know.
He gave y'all too,
our wounds have been healed, we're okay. But you know, all that hype and right, the art scene is starting to pick up more, and I think that in the next like 5 to 10 years, it's gonna be an amazing place. It's already getting there, where like we're starting to get more venues for live music, and there's more people that are actually coming to Miami as opposed to going to Fort Lauderdale, you know what I mean? And it's growing, and that's the exciting part about it, is that the Miami scene for music is growing. It's not the best place yet, but it's gonna be there. I see it.
Okay. Now I want to take a shift with you. I recently heard you speak on, you know, social media and the effects that it can have on young women, and just kind of desensitizing them in a different way to things that are important, and them kind of doing things to alter their image and portraying images that just isn't themselves.
Right.
What advice do you have for, you know, the young ladies coming up in this era who want to be artistic, who want to be, you know, singers, and they might feel like you said they see the reality TV and this is what I see making it, so let me do that? Or what advice do you have for those young ladies who want to be an individual and stand on their own?
You know what, and that's exactly what it is. That's the advice right there, is like to just have the courage to stand on your own. We need more females that are just like happy with themselves, and that are willing to put themselves out there even if they're not 100% comfortable, because they know that, oh my god, there's like thousands and thousands of girls out there that are just way hotter, or I don't know, like shaking their ass, or you know, injecting their tits with crazy weird collagen or whatever it is, and just being able to go out there and have the courage to be like, you know what, I'm happy with myself, and I'm happy with the way that I am, and I trust in myself, and loving yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? I think that's the issue, is like loving yourself.
Knowing your worth, yeah.
Knowing your worth, and being okay with that. Because I think that even like you see like right in social media or in the market, all these women, and they're just like caked up, or right, they got the fake ass and they got this, and honestly all of that, it's just insecurity, and that's just exactly what it is. It's just straight up insecure. You're just messing up the interview, back and forth. Just kidding. That's what I really think it is. I think it's insecurity, and it's like a lack of sense of self. And if we just had more of that, then I think more and more women would be okay with themselves, and then like sex appeal wouldn't just be, you know, a girl like in her lingerie thing with her thong, and she's like taking photos, and then she's prompting all these other girls to feel like they have to do it. Like,
you just made me lose focus when you did that.
Sorry, see, you see what I'm saying? Like it's that crazy attention span. We're just like sex addicts. We're all sex addicts, which is fine. It's totally fine, but I don't think that should be our world. Indeed. And that shouldn't be what drives creativity. I mean, I think in a sense it sometimes does, absolutely, but I think when it starts to make people feel bad about themselves, that's the only thing, you know? Like, I met someone yesterday who was like, she was like all cut up. She's like, yo, like I just got over depression, your music helped me, and you know, like I used to cut myself, and you just look at her arm, and she's, you know, a big girl, and she's like, but I just got over it, and I just want to say thank you, like you just made me like feel happy about myself. And it's shit like that, yo. It's shit like that that just it's just even like now makes me sad. It sucks that people are like that. They hate themselves. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It gets emotional, you know? People are so driven in the wrong direction. And it's a sad thing. But I think that there are enough people that, you know, can create positivity. And if you just have that love for yourself, it's all good.
Your music is definitely a positive thing that
Thank you.
You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. Well, is there anything you like to leave us with before we get out of here? I'm sorry for taking you
I know
there.
you took me there. It just happened last night too. That's why I was like, oh man, this shit sucks. But other than that, I'm really excited about my show tonight. I'm super excited about the album coming out January 13th. Definitely pre-order that. Right. And nothing. It's all good times and all love. So I'm excited.
Indeed. It's your boy E Money. Like I said, with the lovely Miss Cat Dahlia. Get out and see her at that My Garden tour, city near you. And we signing out with hiphop1987.com.
Shout my hip-hop since 1987, niggas. Hip-hop since 1987.com.
Now let me ask you, what's your favorite song off the project?
Probably Do Not Disturb.
I was gonna say with Chris Brown. That's
yeah.
I have to do not disturb. Broken Hearted Girl, I like the Fab Drive.
I was about to say that too. Those are like my two favorite songs. I was just about to say that.